I know we dove right into the business aspect of things. Can you talk a little bit about all the services that TSO offers?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Training, consulting, coaching. We conduct organizational studies, like we do help organizations transform, and strategic planning.
We work with organizations, they could be school districts, nonprofits. We've worked with companies, and we really look at sort of like diversity, equity, inclusion, fairness, belonging. We really look at like what is happening in the organization to either support this or detract from it. How are the major partners, your customers, your students, your leaders, your middle management, like how is your enterprise fair, right? And what is happening with your populations in diversity throughout your organization? Where is the access? Who's getting access, and to what? Who's getting opportunity, and for what, right? So we take a look at that. We have some really interesting conversations. So they could be, like Tonya talked about the study, so we could assess that. We also provide consulting. Sometimes people bring us on to just sort of brainstorm and, how can we do better, based on the data that we have. And then sometimes there's training needed. So it's really wonderful to have a diverse workplace. And of course, we support that, but sometimes we don't quite know what to do with the diversity. So we worked with a company that, members of one group were, tended to be on one level of the organization, and members of another racial or cultural group tended to be at another level of the organization, right? And so,
Mhm.
how do we sort of make that fair? What is happening so that members of one tend not to be in another group? So we sort of help organizations sort of walk through and implement fairer strategies,
Mhm.
so that their bottom line grows, but also the people in the organization belong. Everybody feels like I really belong here, and we know, research tells us. You can go to Forbes magazine, you can go to Harvard Business Review. They tell you that when your people are happy,
Okay.
they stay, right?
Right.
And it helps your bottom line. So that's some of the things that we do.
We will provide on demand training. So we have courses that we offer, courses for organizations, courses for school districts, specifically centered around this. Diversity related matters, whether it's something about, anti bias work or culturally responsive work. Um, that's part of the work that we do. And then when we do our studies of organizations, we'll do both a qualitative and a quantitative study. So it's pretty comprehensive. We really look at all aspects of the organization to help the organization not only understand where they are in terms of how either culturally responsive they are or how equitable they are. We also know from research that organizations that are really committed to diversity, and especially in this day and time where there are companies who are
Yeah.
pulling back on diversity. I think it's
Yeah.
important
Yes.
to state that the research actually supports organizations that really lean into diversity programming, diversity initiatives,
Mhm.
and they're serious about it, not just surface diversity work, but I mean, really looking underneath the surface at what needs to be done to create an environment where everyone feels a sense of belonging and where there's access and fairness in all aspects of the organization. That work and that commitment to that work actually leads to positive results for the organization, including their bottom line. So, meaning it's more profitable for companies and organizations to commit to real diversity work, and it hurts them when they don't. And so, we are really about helping those organizations just kind of hone in on what their priorities are and helping them to assess where they are, and then helping to build capacity. So where might there be a lack of capacity that we can support you in building? That's part of what we do as well.
That's
Right.
amazing that y'all had figured out how to tap into that and
Right.
articulate that to people, because that's not an easy job, you know?
Mhm.
That's not
No,
an easy
it's
job.
not. And part of the challenge is like those consistent and persistent issues we have around fairness, like we don't even see anymore. And we
Mm,
take it as almost, these are not solvable issues. We just take it for granted that
mhm.
you're going to come, you're going to walk into this place and people are going to, the people that lead and the people that work will look different, right?
Mhm.
Or they will be in these different groups, these different, racial or cultural or social economic groups. Like we don't
Yeah,
even see it anymore. And
right.
so, I think part of the challenge is because we don't see it anymore, because, we don't talk, because we really haven't given ourselves in this society permission to talk openly and freely about race, right?
Yeah,
Right.
And people
Right.
get uncomfortable, so they don't want to talk about it, and everything's fine, I don't see color, like, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And what we know is that that doesn't fix our issues around fairness, access, and opportunity. That doesn't fix it if you don't talk about it